The film begins with a master of mystical arts, later revealed to be Cassius, entering an ancient library with a group of followers. After binding the librarian with energy chains, Cassius decapitates the man with 2 large knives. He then picks up the book and tears out a few pages. As he was walking, the owner of the book appeared and said to him, "These rituals will only make you sad, but Caius and his followers will use the portal to travel to another city." This person was always following them. As she fought them, she began to reshape the city, streets, and buildings. At that moment, Cassius creates another portal and uses it to escape with his remaining followers. In New York City, an experienced doctor named Stephen Strange performed delicate brain surgery at General Hospital. Once that's done, Dr. Christine Palmer comes in and shows her an X-ray of a patient with a bullet in the brain. At first, he dismisses the case as hopeless, but after words of encouragement from Christine, he decides to save the man's life and performs a quick manual extraction using forceps and showed impressive hand control. Later that night, Dr. would be Strange to give a speech at a banquet in his honor. He was driving at high speed while talking on the phone with his assistant. Dr. Strange had a terrible accident. His hand hit the dashboard when the car was destroyed. A few hours later, the doctor wakes up something strange, appears at the hospital. There he finds Christine and tells her that the injury to her hand is irreparable and that she can no longer work as a brain surgeon the next day. Dr. Strange tries various techniques to get his hand back, spending all his money on experimental procedures, but each failure only makes him more bitter and hateful. One day at a treatment site, a doctor told a story about a paralyzed man who was able to walk again after several years. Dr. Strange doesn't believe him and demands the file. The next day, Dr. Strange meets another neurosurgeon and asks for his help, but he refuses. Meanwhile, Christine comes in and tries to cheer him up by saying it's not over, but he feels sorry for himself even though there are other things that could give life meaning. Nearby, he decides to break up with Christine. After Dr. Strange receives the paralyzed man's file, he visits him in person and finds him playing basketball. Initially, Jonathan Pangborn refused to speak to Dr. He's strange to talk to because he did not even accept to meet in the past. The doctor then shows him his hand is messed up and says he's no longer a doctor. Jonathan tells him that he has received help from the Master's mysterious sages, but warns that their help comes at a high price. The next day, Dr. Strange goes to Cath due to search for Tage. He's noticed and tracked by another master named Carl Mordo, who saves him from 3 thieves who tried to steal his luxury, watch his last remaining possession. Christine's gift Mordo takes him to Urta G, where he introduces him to the old woman he had seen fighting Caius earlier. Dr. Strange asks her how she was able to cure a paralyzed man. She tells him that the old woman knows how to recondition her mind to better heal her body. Dr. Strange said he doesn't believe in fairy tales, and coming here is just a waste of time and money. Before he can finish his sentence, she slaps him across the face and suddenly his soul leaves his body and returns seconds later. Dr. Strange is surprised by what happened and asks her how he did it, but instead of telling him, she decides to show him. By touching his head, she introduces him to an alternate reality where many hidden universes and dimensions can be used for power and mystical guidance. Dr. Strange asks her to tell him, but she refuses and kicks him out in her place. He stays on the street and refuses to leave. Meanwhile, the elder speaks to Mortal and tells him that he's too afraid of the doctor. Strange ends up following Celia's path, however Mordo persuades her to leave it to her doctor. She helped Strange by reminding her of herself when Strange first came to her. Later she changed her mind and accepted her doctorate. She is Strange as a student teaching her eldest son, Dr. Strange, everything she knows in the next few weeks. He learns and understands that there are many worlds and dimensions in this universe. Dr. Strange also read a lot and began to demonstrate his skills, but his arrogance limited the fruits of his efforts. One day during training, an old man came and asked everyone except the doctor, "It's strange to go." She then creates a small portal through which she reaches Mount Everest. She tells him that he is only half an hour to live here. Then she left. In fact, it was a temptation to risk his life and anger him. After a few minutes, he swallowed his pride and returned through the portal before freezing to death. Then the teacher, the doctor, goes. Strange goes to the library and asks for more books, but Wong refuses to give them to him using his new abilities. He succeeds in stealing a book and spends most of his nights reading books, resting his body and using his soul. The next day, He meets with the Ancient One, who shows him the mirror dimension and tells him that nothing that happens here can affect the real world. However, it is very dangerous to get stuck here, so be careful. During training, Mordo shows the Doctor. He says that it is a strange relic that can be used as a weapon and that the relic must choose its user. He then tells them that Cassius is a former student of the Old One, and that he fears that he will use the spells he has stolen to summon creatures called Dermo-Mo from the Dark Dimension and take over the world. DoctorStrange said he did not come to join their group. He just came here to heal his hand later that night. While Wong is away from the library, DoctorStrange secretly borrows the most dangerous book, wanting to know more. Using a precious relic called the Eye of Aad, he learns how to use a time-displaced pendant that allows him to see the lost pages of books. Mordo and Wong tell them that the use of time spells is prohibited. This is because the time spell causes a time loop in which the user is trapped forever, allowing evil forces to invade his universe. Wong then explained that his 3 havens of hours are in London, New York, and Hong Kong, where the group watches over the world. He also spoke in more detail about Dermo, saying that he's a purely evil creature who is conquering all known worlds and that Earth has long been his ultimate goal. Caius finally deciphers the stolen magic and attacks the sanctuary in London with his group. Backlash from the London sanctuary condemns the Doctor. A strange thing passed through a door into a New York sanctuary. The building was deserted as he wandered the floors looking at the various artifacts. He noticed a burgundy cloak moving inside the glass case. At the end of the hallway, he found 3 glass doors that served as gates to another area. Turn the wheel next to each door to change your destination. Caius and his group then attacked the sanctuary in New York. DoctorStrange was there and started fighting them. He manages to eliminate the 2 cultists using a gate and a burgundy cloak. A relic that appears to have some kind of intelligence. The cloak helps him defeat his 3rd zealot and trap Cassius in an ancient restraint frame. DoctorStrange and Caius have a conversation with the Elder about his eternity, in which Cassius claims that the Elder used the powers of the Dark Dimension to achieve his longevity. The Doctor, as a doctor, when Strange, lets his guard down a 3rd maniac, revives him and stabs him, but Strange manages to open the gate to the hospital closet where Christine works. He finds her and barely climbs onto her table. But Christine connects him to her heart monitor and performs an emergency pericardial synthesis to drain excess blood from around her heart. Strange continues to fight the fanatics using his astro body, but although Christine cannot see it, she senses something happening in her room. With Christine's help, she administered an electric shock with a defibrillator. Fanatics are strange. He then tells Christine that he must return and returns through her portal. Upon returning to the sanctuary in New York, he discovers that Kissel Caius has escaped. Then Moore and the old man come and beat the Doctor. Strange proposes to take over the sanctuary in New York. They were impressed to see that the cloak of levitation had chosen him. However, it is strange for her to take that position until Dr. Ancient One tells him if she is really using powers from the Dark Dimension to extend her lifespan, but she remains silent and leaves. Meanwhile, Cassius returns with more fanatics to destroy the New York sanctuary. But DoctorStrange creates a mirror dimension to contain the battle. Caius uses his powers to alter the city and confuse Dr. Strange, who attempts to escape through a portal before killing him. Immortal. An old man appears and saves her. She begins to fight, but this time Caius is too strong. After stabbing her girlfriend, she fell from a building and was fatally injured. DoctorStrange takes her to Christine's hospital, but she's already too late. He follows her soul in his astral body and has a conversation with her overlooking New York City, where she tells him that this is the end of herself. New York Sanctuary. It's weird in Malt that Dr. Hong Kong's sanctuary is the next target. After arriving there via a portal, they discover that Hong Kong's sanctuary has collapsed. Additionally, Juan is killed and the dark dimension of DMO is growing from the sanctum's location. DoctorStrange uses the Eye of Agama to carry out this process, but Exus recovers and succeeds in killing the Doctor. To stun Strange, stop the process before it completes. DoctorStrange has an idea and flies into the heart of Dermao's dark dimension. He confronts Dharma and succeeds in creating an infinite time loop. Dharma Mo kills DoctorStrange in various ways, but each time DoctorStrange dies, time is always reset to the beginning of the showdown. Dharma Mo becomes angry, but ultimately agrees to leave Earth alone in exchange for DoctorStrange stopping the time loop. Returning to his travels, Doctor Strange sends Caius and his crew into the Dark Dimension just before being exiled. Mordo is also angry that Doctor Strange broke the rules in using the time pendant and that he used powers that the Elder considers forbidden to prolong her life. So he decides to leave the group and walks away. Meanwhile, Dr. Strange returns the Eye of Abe to its protected location in Tage, and Wong tells him the secret about the eye, which contains one of the 6 Infinity Stones, and the movie ends here.